Hi, I'm Josh, a co-founder of Woodland Mills, and this is our full-length product video of the RCS28 Series chain grinder. We have the semi-automatic RCS28, as well as the fully automatic RCS28 PRO. We've got them set up beside each other to really show you their differences, but first I want to start with the similarities between the two units. Both units run on 12 volts. They come with a 6-foot wire lead with alligator clips on the end to get you connected to a 12-volt battery or power source, either in the field and forest, or like I have it set up here in my workshop. Both units run ceramic grinding discs, and because of that, they come with a square profile when they're new. We've got a profiling gauge here that's included, as well as a grinding stone or a dressing stone to get that disc shaped to match the profile of your chain before you get started. Because they're both automatic and they'll go through an entire cycle and turn themselves off, we have a stopper here that goes on the chain, and that's going to turn the machine off when it gets to the end. And it also comes with the Allen keys required and a thin feeler gauge to get the unit set up and ready to go. Now both these units come fully assembled. They just need to be mounted to a bench like we have it here before they're ready for use. And then you can start the sequence of getting them tuned and dialed in to your exact chains. All this is covered in the manuals that are included with both units as well. Before getting into the controls and the setup, I want to go over common terminology of a chainsaw chain. So on the chain, we have both left and right cutters. These cutters are driven with a drive link, which is that lower triangular part, and then held together with tie strap links. We've got gullets on both the left and the right cutters, and that's where the sawdust gets collected before it's discharged. And then on the tie straps, we have 2 rivets, one on each side, holding that all together. And then we also have a depth gauge, which determines the depth of the cut the chain can make. With that covered, let's look at the controls on the RCS28. So first we have the power on and the power off control. And then we also have the on-off switches for both the grinding disc and the advancer arm. And then you'll see we've got this, which works in conjunction with that clamp that gets placed on the chain to turn it off when it's done its cycle. For setup, we've got a knob here at the front that allows us to set the angle to grind the cutting tooth, both the left and the right. I've got it set at 30 degrees for my chain. On the back here, we can set the angle of attack. Again, that's set by your chain or the type of chain you're using. On the top, we have this control, which is going to let us set the depth of the grind. And that brings that cutting disc down into the gullet. And then here we have the advancer, and this knob here at the back gives us that fine tuning to determine how much we're going to grind off that cutting tooth with the face of the disc. At the back of that, we have a bumper here, which limits how far back it comes, so it grabs the next tooth correctly and advances it to the right position. As we come over to the RCS28 PRO, you'll see on the controls, we still have our power and power off, but now we're going to have a high and a low speed. And that's going to let us do our setup on the low speed. And once we've got everything fine-tuned, we can flick it over to high to get the job done quicker. You'll also see we now have the ability to rotate the cutter head, and this is done automatically so that it'll do the left and the right cutting teeth within a single pass. At the top, we still have the on, off for the grinding disc, as well as the on, off for the advancer. And then again, with that clamp that gets put on the chain, it'll click them both off at the end of the cycle and turn off the machine. Similarly to the RCS28, we've got the advancer. So this gives us the fine tuning for where that tooth gets placed to be ground and how much we grind off the tooth. We have a backstop here, which determines how far back it comes to grab the next tooth. And that gets set up based on the chain we have on the unit. At the top, we have that knob, which controls the depth and how far down into the gullet we're going to go. At the rear, we're going to control that attack angle that gets set to match your chain. And at the front here, we have a knob, which lets us compensate for the wear of the grinding disc itself. So as it gets smaller, you can keep it centered over the chain to keep it doing the left and the right equally. Before I get started with either of these grinders, I'm going to flip up the cutting head. I'll take off one of these chains and I'll show you where I've put the stop clamp. Now, when you're looking at a chain, you're going to go along and try and find where they've connected the chain and there'll be a break in the pattern. So in this case, I have double cutters on the right-hand side. Between that, I've got the link, and then this stop clamp will be installed between the two rivets on that link, and that'll be my starting and my stopping point as I grind this chain. I want to talk about 3 key reasons to own a chain grinder. So number 1 is going to be convenience. So having sharp chains when you need them and where you need them is first. 2 is going to be longevity. So getting the most value out of the chains you own by keeping them sharp and doing those sharpenings frequently. And the third is going to be for commercial use. So you have a lot of chains to go through at the end of a day, or you want to start a business sharpening chains for hire in your community, friends, and family. With its short cycle time of just a few minutes, both of these are definitely a possibility with the RCS28 series. For more information on these grinders or any of our other products, please visit woodlandmills.com or give us a call. This has been Josh with Woodland Mills.